Okay, so I'm checking the brakes on our new Squad's RMAX and noticed some things some others have run into. That top bolt, the brake line was incorrectly positioned, so it now blocks this bolt. I was still able to get the caliper off by removing first the bottom bolt and then swinging it up, and then it came off. So if those of you that run into it, you won't have to undo the brake line. It's a pain in the butt. One thing I've noticed redoing the brake job, I think I had 3,000 miles, they were starting to squeak again, so I had to re-lube everything. But Yamaha's, they're putting a compound on the clips, and this is to prevent squeal, I suspect. And I've scraped it off the surfaces here. Problem with using this compound is that it raises these clips up and then dirt gets underneath them. So then you get squealing again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean these all up, and I'm going to lubricate with Tink Seal all the surfaces this clip touches, so that when it moves, it's not going to squeal. I see what they're trying to do, but I don't like the solution. So I'm going to clean this up. I have a previous video on doing the brakes, but at this time, I'm going to lubricate all the surfaces. The brake pads don't even touch, but all the surfaces that this clip touches. So when it moves, it's not going to squeal. Okay, so I'm doing the passenger side rear and doing the same process of removing whatever compound Yamaha put on here. It's like a really hard RTV. It's barely pliable, and you got to scrape it off with a razor to get it fully off. The problem with using this compound is, they dab it on there, and then these brake clips don't sit flush. Like I said, it allows dirt to get underneath, and it doesn't allow this machine surface, these clips, to ride flat, and they'll ride cockeyed. And then your pads, when you put them in, they're riding in a cockeyed clip. So when you do your brake service, remove whatever compound they have between the bottom of the clip and the caliper or the bracket housing. Clean it up real good, and then dry lube it. My previous brake videos, I said dry lube the parts that the brake pads slide in, but lubricate this back part as well, or in here. And that's going to accomplish two things. Kind of like wax it, pretend it's a wax. It's going to keep dirt from sticking and caking, and then it's going to allow, if there is movement in this clip, it's not going to squeal. It'll slide as it needs to, versus dirt being in there. So this is probably easier illustrated with the pads in place. These pads, they fit in there pretty tight. These are pretty tight tolerances for the pads and whatnot. You need something that's going to not harden and not dry up. If you use Slide Glide, that's fine. I'm using Tink Seal. But the point is, if you use something that hardens, it's going to take up this clearance. And these pads aren't going to move freely. You need something that can squeeze out, fill in the gaps of the metal, but not create a binding situation. So by using a hard compound, that's what you're doing. So change the compound you're using. Use something that's non-hardening, that can squeeze out, and I think that'll fix a lot of squealing problems from the factory and stay that way. I think they do it from the factory, and to make it squeal free, which it probably is off the showroom floor. But once you get dirt, once you go in any kind of mud and dirt gets in here, your solution is bunked. So non-hardening compound on your brake caliper clips.